It's hard to believe that only 8 months ago this all just started as an idea to exhibit the beauty of what I consider one of the most underrated states in America. Now, last night I got dropped off the Arizona-Utah border during a really bad rainstorm, but what came out of it was an absolutely breathtaking rainbow. All I can wonder is where the next 800 miles will take me. This is the walk across Arizona. It's been a very difficult first 10 miles. This is my first big break. Everything temperatures are well above 100 degrees. One of my biggest worries in this first 30 miles was it didn't seem like there was going to be any good water resupplies. I'm walking along and at first I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought I was seeing things. Somebody had tied a bunch of gallon jugs of water around a tree. I think it's been sitting there for a while though, because it doesn't taste very good. This is going to be a really interesting 800 miles, and I'm having deja vu right now because when I was 10 miles in on the John Muir Trail, I said the exact same thing. That was probably the most arduous first day I've ever had any backpacking trip. Turns out that water was expired and it made me really sick. Once I make it to the highway today, it's about 2 miles to Jacob Lake, and then I think I'm gonna take a rest day. So this is day 4, and after a very rejuvenating rest day at Jacob Lake, I'm feeling a whole lot better. I now have a better idea of what to expect on this trail. It's a beautiful day. Can't wait to see what it holds for me. Now it's interesting to see what emerges from something that's seemingly bad, whether it's a wildfire or what seems to be a nasty storm. It's funny to think about the people that view storms as a burden, but when you're out in a place like this, rain is not a burden, it's a gift. What's in front of me right now is some of the most beautiful scenery I've seen so far. It's a special day when it rains. I'm at Grand Canyon Park right now. I'm actually just about to start the rim to rim. I've had a really interesting past 2 days. After Telephone Hill, went to Crane Lake to resupply on water, which was extremely nasty, like some of the worst water I've ever had to get in the wild. Then I went to the Kabab Lodge and met some excellent people. It's been a heck of an experience. I think when you're in a place like this, what you see is much, much more powerful than any words could ever convey. I resupplied yesterday, which ended up being kind of tricky. The general store they had was very limited supply, extremely expensive. I was able to find enough stuff to where it'll be sufficient for the next 100 miles or so. It's going to be basically 20-mile days from here on out. It was an absolutely phenomenal day. The national forest here is incredible. The tower was better than I thought it could ever be. I'm camped out about 20 feet away and I've got a view like this. I've had a really good week. After I got out of the national forest, everything just opened up. There was just these beautiful prairie lands. I was fortunate enough to meet some horseback riders. They ended up feeding me, let me sleep at their camp, gave me like a bed to sleep on. They were just incredibly generous people. I was really excited when I got to see my first glimpse of the San Francisco peaks. My intent was to climb Mount Humphrey, but it was in the midst of a thunderstorm when I was there. Then I got into Flagstaff. I ended up staying at the International Hostel there. I was able to get a real shower, and now I feel like new again. I'm kind of reluctant to get out of Flagstaff. It's probably one of my favorite towns that I've ever been in. I guess I should probably get started. Today was so nice, and now I think it's starting to hail. Things have gone from pretty amazing to pretty serious. It hailed pretty bad today. Got to the point where there was almost an inch of hail on the ground. I've never seen lightning this bad. I've never been in a storm this bad. I almost wouldn't believe I'm in Arizona right now. This is crazy. Just so you guys can get an idea what the ground looks like. It's I'm talking a huge layer of hail. Oh man. You know, last night ended up being a train wreck. I ended up sending home my warm sleeping bag in Flagstaff, and for the first couple nights it was fine. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't until last night when, I truly regretted it. I decided in the morning I was going to pack up and head to Mormon Lake Lodge. My spirits were down and I needed to recuperate, get everything dry, and just feel better. I'm about to leave here in a couple minutes. Hopefully the weather will clear up tonight. So the past couple days, it's just been incredibly cold, incredibly wet. It's stormed every single night since I left Mormon Lake Lodge. I'm about 2 miles from the Mogollon Rim. I want to say 24 miles from Pine. I'm running incredibly low on food. This is literally all I've got left. That's got to do me next 20 something miles, so hoping at least to have a dry day. And I'm going to be looking forward to getting a real meal. Finally, after well over 20 miles already, I can see Pine. I'm so close. Oh, I'm so close. I can taste that meal already. Oh my gosh. Just went to the post office. I had my sleeping bag sent back to me. After almost a week of just miserable cold, I pretty much regretted sending it away for my sleeping bag liner, so I'm not going to make that same mistake again. And I also got a new pair of sunglasses, which broke, about a week ago. I'm going to resupply at the little general store here. And bright and early tomorrow, I'm going to wake up, probably have one more big meal before I begin this next section. The Mazatzai's really slowed me down. I'm pretty much out of food today. Once I get to the highway, I'm getting picked up by a friend that lives in Scottsdale, and she's gonna take me to Resupply. wasn't planning on taking a rest day until I got to Roosevelt, but because of the 2004 Willow fires, a lot of the trail was just really rough. A lot of fallen trees, unmarked trails, but we've got a family friend that lives near Scottsdale. She was willing to pick me up, help me resupply, give me a place to stay, kind of shower up and just rejuvenate. I'm gonna get back out there and ready to see some beautiful scenery. Yeah, it's always really tough starting out again after like a rest day or once I resupply. This is probably the heaviest my pack's ever been. I'm carrying my absolute max capacity of water, which is about 9 liters of water. That's like 18 pounds. And I'll resupply on water every single time I find it, up until once I get to Roosevelt. I'll kind of relax a little bit. Hopefully I have another beautiful evening, and let's hope I find water in the next couple days. Fingers crossed. I see water down there, but my problem is how to get down there. Yeah, that might work. Hello, Four Peaks. I made it. It's going to be about another 40 miles until I get to Superior. The state is really incredible. I get a variety of everything. This is Two Bar Ridge right here, and it's something different every day. And I think that was kind of the big appeal for me, was just, you get something different all the time. Mountains here are just gorgeous. Got about 18 miles today. I might take a rest day in Superior. After that, then it's the Sonoran Desert and things are gonna change again. That's the craziest cactus I think I've ever seen. It actually wasn't a bad 18 miles. Never thought I'd ever say that. Highway is right there. Superior is about 4.5 miles away. Basically, I'm gonna try to hitchhike a ride. Can't do that, then I'm walking the 4.5 miles. I got 2 packages today. One was for my dad, which I had an extra pair of shoes waiting for me because I knew that one pair probably wasn't going to last me the entire trip, and I was right. These guys have seen better days. There's literally a hole all the way through this. The second package, which I was really excited about, I've got a friend in Columbus, Ohio that thru hiked the Appalachian Trail last year. She sent me a ton of stuff. Definitely brightened up my day. It was one of the best parts of my trip by far. This is a beautiful town. I'm gonna be filming as much as possible today. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. I haven't set up a tent since probably like near the East Verde River. It ended up being more trouble than it was worth. Unless I can tie this in between 2 trees, it isn't very stable, especially in high winds. And it kept collapsing, and it was really irritating. Oh, I haven't had like a good night's sleep in like a week. I'm tired. I need coffee. To be able to wake up to something like this is it's what backpacking is all about. One of the things that I'm kind of worried about is my feet. My feet are just like raw. It hurts so bad. I couldn't even have my feet in my sleeping bag last night. I can deal with blisters, but I can't deal with just there being no skin there. I'm gonna try to get to Kearney today and see if I can get my feet fixed up. Resting in Kearney was definitely what I needed. My feet are feeling a lot better today. This section is really hot, like really hot. I'm not quite sure the next time I'm gonna be able to find a nice water resupply. So I'm carrying an extra gallon of water. It's really, really heavy. My back hurts now. I whine too much. One of the most enticing things I think about being out in the open like this is you can see mountains pretty far in the distance. I can see Mount Lemmon right now. I like it when something's in sight and I can look at it and say, no, I'm gonna be there soon. The Black Hills are something else, man, I'll tell you. From a distance, they just look like grassy rolling hills. I'm gonna make it to Oracle today, and I got about a couple days until I get to Tucson. I got a bunch of stuff I need to get there. I'm gonna enjoy the last like 6 miles or so of this trail and eat some real food again. I resupplied in Oracle yesterday. This might quite possibly be one of my favorite sections. Every single day is new and different, and ever since I got to the Mogollon Rim, every day has been incredible. I came out into this section and everything opened up and it's just nothing but boulders, like everywhere. This is the Wilderness of Rocks Trail. It's appropriately named, obviously. I gotta hand it to Arizona, you know, going from the Sonoran Desert earlier this week and to now be up in something like this. Wow. After Reddington Pass, I got picked up by a friend in Tucson. I was able to get a shower, get a meal, and then I resupplied at the grocery store. I was dropped off at the Douglas Spring trailhead. I'm gonna meet back up with the trail here today. It's really interesting to be back in an area that I'm actually familiar with. I lived in Tucson this past winter and spring for about 3 months. This is where I spent most of my time. It's pretty hot, but it's another beautiful day. I could really do without the 5 million gnats that's swarming here right now, and this will be pretty much my last good view of Tucson. So as always, take it in, enjoy it, and I should be done with the trail in about 10 days. It's been a crazy adventure so far, and an absolutely beautiful one at that. very serene night, very quiet. I definitely consider this another successful day. It's days and nights like this that, really make me feel fortunate for what I'm doing. It's just something that you got to see in person to really feel it, to really experience it,
White calcite. We have white and yellow calcite in this cave. Other caves have red, green, blue, black, different names. Is this flowstone or dripstone? Looks like forest trees from afar. This cave is approximately 10 to 20 million years old. The fault lines of the cave is approximately 40 or more fault lines in this cave. Continues from the drape room. It goes a quarter of a mile out. You can see the fractures going down right here. Below the railing, these big, huge boulders slipped when this slip fault slipped millions of years ago. These fault lines are not like the Solaris fault line in California.
Should have enough water for today, and I think I'll be able to find enough. I think it's probably gonna hit like 98 today, not quite 100, but this is like the only shade I could find right under an old railroad track. I'm about 8 miles from Patagonia. I want to resupply there today. I only need about another 3 days worth of food, so it's not going to be a huge resupply. I'm starting to get really sentimental about everything. I'd say within the last week, everything has just really kind of clicked for me. It's been getting easier as the trip has gone on. Really, it wasn't until I got into Tucson when I really felt everything felt just right about this trip and about what I was doing. For me, hiking is all about seeing the openness, the complete real solitude of just being out in nature. What I've got behind me is just open prairie land, and it's all around me, and it's absolutely humbling. So this is day 59. I'm kind of reflecting on the trip. A beautiful life that I have. It's a beautiful world that I live in. And I feel fortunate that I get to see that. And I just, I feel like a very lucky person. Absolutely. Everything has always been difficult. Every single day there's been some challenge. And maybe that was kind of part of the point, was, you know, I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone and do something I'm not really used to doing. And so that way I can kind of measure my abilities and, you know, really learn about myself. I feel like everything is now easy. Just something has clicked, I guess you could say. And now I'm about to be done, which is very ironic. You know, it takes me 50 plus days to really get comfortable with something, and now that I am, it's over. Well, that does it for the last night on this trip. It was terrifying. I hate hiking in the dark. It's not my favorite thing. Got a long day tomorrow, get picked up, and that'll be a wrap. Alrighty, it's the morning of day 60. Probably the earliest I've woken up the entire trip. I'm not much of an early bird. But today I gotta be. It's gonna be a 20-mile day, and I'm climbing Miller Peak. It's time to get to business and finish this trail. Oh man. Can't believe it's almost over. This right here is probably one of the best views of the entire trip. The Arizona Trail. Started there. I'm now here. It's the border right there. I've been walking for 2 months straight. It's a learning experience. It's more potent and powerful than anything I've ever experienced in my life. I was blown away day after day. There were so many unexpected surprises. I wish I could say I'm happy to be done, but I'm really not. I've learned that life is about experience and about sharing that experience with others. I think it's beneficial to be out and go alone and have sort of a potent experience immersing yourself in an environment. But if you don't share those moments and those stories, you don't have anything. This trail has shown me that there's a vast variety of things to see in just one little state. But I guess that's it for me, and that's it for the trail and this film. I got about another 2 miles, and I'm getting picked up, and I'm flying out back to Columbus tomorrow. That's a wrap.